Yeah, what's going on? Um, so I wanted to start a video diary, maybe. I guess it can kind of be like a vlog, but I kind of just wanted to blow off some steam, and I wanted to do that in a new way instead of journaling. So I guess today I wanted to talk about um, controlling your own autonomy. So something that I've been really keeping really quiet about is pretty much like my home life. So I know a lot of you don't know this, but just saving a project here. So I got kicked out of my house over this summer, and it it wasn't exactly because I had started dating a girl, but it definitely did bring on the toxic tendencies that made me kind of walk away. So I don't know exactly how in depth I'm gonna get in this, but basically what happened was I started dating my current girlfriend Ava in December of last year. Last year, right? Yeah, last year. And things were going really good. But the longer that I was seeing her, the more that my mom was being more controlling. So to paint you a picture of how things would go, on our second date, we were driving to Madison to go to a coffee shop for an event that was going on there. And my mom had called, um, and I didn't think that was weird or anything since we were driving an hour away. But then she had called and I put her on speaker since I was driving, like I was the one driving. So I picked it up and I was like, "Hey, just so you know, you're on speaker." And she was like, "I don't give a damn if I'm on speaker." And I was like, "What the fuck? What is this energy?" Because even for her, she can be weird as hell. But I was really thrown off by that because it's something she would never do. And I don't know, the actual conversation was relatively normal or whatever. But then when we hung up, she was like, Ava was like, "Oh my gosh, your mom's so funny." And I was like, I don't think that was a joke. So it was more of the same as we kept seeing each other. And, mind you, our relationship has been very happy, very healthy, except for the interactions with my mom. Like, she was so weird about everything. I think it was after our fourth date. Yeah. On our fourth day, we had went to see a concert. It was just kind of late. Again, we were in Madison, so the concert ended like 11 midnight or so, and I didn't get home for a while, maybe like 1 or 2 a.m. So I come in, and my mom talks to me like I'm a teenager. She's just like, "I don't like you staying out late and drinking and whatever." And I'm like, "Oh, Mom, I didn't. I don't even know if I told her if I was going to a concert or not. I just told her that I was leaving." She didn't know anything about the situation at all. And she literally, like verbatim, said, "I don't like the person you're becoming." And she told me that I can't take her car and go on dates with Evie anymore. So our situation was that we were sharing the car. Um, when we moved to, I don't know if I should tell you guys where. We moved outside of Milwaukee, and it was about an hour away from any major city, right? So me and my mom shared her car because I needed to go to work some days, but then she started to work remote, so she wasn't driving pretty much anywhere ever. So I had saved up enough money to buy a car, but she was just like, "Well, I'm not taking it anyway, so you may as well just save your money and use my car." And I was like, I mean, it works. And it did. But she told me that I wasn't allowed to take the car on dates anymore because I was becoming such a terrible person. And I'm not making shit up. That's what she told me. So I would go to Ava's house to chill out or whatever. And literally, we lived blocks away. Blocks away. So I lived right on the river, right? And they had a dam over the river, and they had a bridge where you could walk over. So when it started to warm up, whenever I wanted to go see Ava, I just texted her, "Hey, I'm on my way over," and I just walked to her house. I would go down the hill, over the dam, over the river, and then she was just like 1 or 2 blocks away. So I would get to her house in 10 minutes or less. Under 10 minutes if I was really fast. And that was fine. But then she would still have this weird energy, right? So, for example, um, I would eventually, after a couple months, I wanted her to meet my family and see, who is all involved in my life, right? So a few times I had arranged times for them to meet. I remember the first one that I wanted us to do. So we had a bowling alley. That was pretty much the only thing that there was to do besides maybe the coffee shop or going to a restaurant. Like I wanted to do something. So we had all decided on a day to get together and we were all going to go bowling. But then the day of, my mom was just like, I have a headache. I can't go. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll just take Emmy and then we'll go over there. The place is small. Again, we could walk there if we wanted to. But then she's just like, oh, Emmy's not going either. But I was like, oh, well, we plan to go somewhere. I'm sorry that your head hurts. But Emmy was really looking forward to this. And she's just like, no, she's not going. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll reschedule. Never got rescheduled. There was another time when it had gotten warmer where I wanted to invite her, Ava, over for dinner because we were barbecuing. Long story short, my mom had ended up not wanting to do the barbecue. Something about the weather, something like it was too hot or something like that. I don't remember. So we ended up getting a pizza. So I was working in another town not too far away that had a Domino's. So she was like, oh, okay, well, you can pick up the pizza. And I was like, oh, awesome. Well, if it can come, because this was early in the day. This was like 10 or so. And I didn't get off until about 3. She was like, oh, I don't know if I want her to go. It's like, oh, well, can we do it another day? And she basically said, I'll think about it or something to that effect. But then later in the day, she texted me again. And then she said, you want Ava to come? And I was like, yeah, that'd be nice. I wasn't sure why she messaged me again, following up when she said that she didn't want her to go. So I texted Ava and I was like, oh, well, it looks like you can come on over for dinner. We're just having pizza instead of a barbecue. And she was like, okay. So I pick up the pizza. I go to my mom's place, and then we were about to eat, and then Ava pulls up, and my mom's looking at me. She's like, Ava's here? And I was like, yeah, you said she could come. She was like, no, I did not. I said I had a headache. But then I was like, what? You said you had a headache, but then you also asked me again if I wanted her to come. So if you didn't want her to come, then why did you ask me about it again? Like you were okay with it? Possibly. That's confusing. And she was just like, I really don't want her in the house. The house is dirty. But I'm like, Mom, what am I going to do? She's just outside. She's just like, well, you can eat outside. I was like, shit, what the hell do I do? So I'm like, well, obviously, no matter how I spin that, it's obvious that the problem is that my mom doesn't want her in the house. But then I didn't want to have to bring a plate of pizza somewhere else because we had just bought the one pizza for everyone to share. It was a large pizza. So I was like, I really didn't know what else to do. So I sat outside with her and we just had a little pizza dinner, and it was terrible. I felt terrible, but I didn't know what else to do. And that was more of the same energy. So one of the last times I felt comfortable even being in the house, there was one time that myself and Ava had a date, and my mom had something come up. So all of a sudden she's like, oh, I need you to watch Emmy. But I was like, oh, I was actually going to go out. And she's like, well, I can't take Emmy with me. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll stay at home with Emmy. So then I invited her over. I'm like, hey, do you want to chill with us at the house? Me and Emmy are just going to be playing outside. And she's like, okay, we'll do that. So we did. We played outside. It was cool or whatever. But it was kind of a hot day. So even though we were in the shade, it got really, really warm. So all of us went inside and we had like a snack and we hydrated. And during that time, my mom came home and she was really, really pissed off. And I was like, well, I don't. Because it's not like I was sneaking around with anybody. I had been dating her for months. Because this was during the summer. And like I said, I had met Ava in December. So I had known her, been talking about her for several months. And she comes in and she just starts throwing a fit. So eventually, we were sitting in the living room. So eventually, we made our way towards the door, and my mom just started talking shit about me to my face in front of my girlfriend. And then she does the same thing to her. She's just like, "You deserve so much better than this. Why would you treat her like this? Why would you put Ava in this position?" It was a lot. So I decided to just leave. We both left, And as soon as I closed the door, Ava looked at me and she's just like, that didn't scare me off. Because she was clearly trying to do something. So, eventually, she had made up this weird story. Because this problem had been going on for a very long time. So, out of nowhere, genuinely out of nowhere, I was sitting down and we were all having dinner and we were watching something on the TV. And my mom was like, you know what? You should pay rent. You've been being so disrespectful lately. $500 a month. I want it by the 1st. Mind you, that was June 25th. I think that was the 25th that she said that. And I didn't say anything. Because if I said, no, I'm not paying the rent, then she would have thrown a bitch fit. And if I would have said, okay, then I would have had to give her $500 in 5 days. Didn't have that type of money. Never. I would never have that type of money. Just give up $500 for no reason. And just to, yeah, she genuinely told me the only reason that she wanted the money was because I was being so disrespectful. She did not clarify other than that. So, a couple days after the first goes by, and she's just like, where's my money? And I was like, I'm not paying you rent. If you wanted rent, like, I wasn't making a stink about it because she wanted me to pay rent. I was 23 at that point and I was still living at home. And $500 a month is not terrible for rent. It was the part where she was trying to treat me like a baby by holding housing over my head. And 2, that she was trying to like pull this power move like she was a landlord, but she wasn't following landlord rules. So I said that. I'm just like, well, if you want me to pay you rent, right? You are required, like by the state, if you are doing a rental increase, to give me more notice than 5 days. So if that's what you really wanted, you needed to have given me more notice than that. Like, that's not me making shit up. That's just how it works. And she did not like that. So she just said, like, give me the money or you're going to have to find somewhere else to live. And I was like, okay, I'll find somewhere else to live. But background context that I forgot to mention. I was on my way, so I work at a school, right? And it was the summer and school had let out, but I still had my work laptop and my key fob. So I was on my way over there to drive over there and give my stuff back. So I had the car keys in my hands. So that's when she flagged me down and she was like, I really need the money. And I was like, what the fuck? I can't just fork over $500 now. That's not, never. So when she said that, she was like, finding a new place to live or pay the rent. And I was like, I guess I'll have to find a new place to rent. And she was like, okay. Well, that also means you give up the car privileges. And I was like, what the fuck does the car have to do with finding a new place to live? And she's just like, well, the privilege of living here is getting to use my car for free, so give me my car keys. So that was over. I had to keep my work supplies that whole time. I kept it for 3 months after that because I wasn't able to get over there. I had to borrow somebody else's car. And then anywhere else that I had to go, if it was in town, I had to walk. But I only borrowed someone's car if I absolutely needed to. So I still had like 2 more classes that I had to teach until the school year was over in Milwaukee, right? Because these are 2 different school districts. So the one school district, I had to keep their shit because I had no way to get over there. And then for the other one, the one that I was actually making money off of, I had to borrow somebody else's car because there was no way for me to go there. It's like I couldn't get an Uber because they don't have Uber where I lived. I couldn't get a Lyft. I only knew one person with one car, and I was like, I'm so sorry, but I really, really need to get to work. And now I really, really need money. Can I please use your car for these 2 times only? And that was the only time that I borrowed a car. So, yeah, in a very unorganized way, that's what was happening. That's how I ended up getting kicked out of the house. And it was really dramatic. It was a lot. And it was a lot of manipulation. I might talk about it a little bit more, like, in an organized fashion. But, like, me just saying that happened, for me, that's a really big step. Because it was a lot. Because even now, I'm still dealing with bullshit about that. Like, I've had people, without my permission, give her my contact information. She has been physically aggressive to me. She's been trying to, like, fuck me up in so many ways, and still is. and manipulate and lie and all of this shit. So like I'm still dealing with it, but I at least have a roof over my head now. So yeah, that's what happened. That's why I stopped making music. That's why I stopped like recording videos and stuff. But now I'm getting back into it, and it's been kind of hard to get back into it after so long. But I do like being able to just, kind of let go of the reins a little bit, because I still feel like I'm not safe. Because like I don't know, there's very specific things that I can talk about without having to worry about my safety. And I don't like that this is how it is, but this is how it is. Unfortunately, it's really sad how I used to have people that cared about me so much that act like they despise me now. And if they do despise me, doing a really good job of portraying that part, it's very believable. It's just whatever. It's just not going to be a part of my life anymore. And that's just what it is. But yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say about that. I just wanted to kind of give a quick debrief. Right, I said that the topic was controlling your own autonomy. Part of that is making the more difficult choice. Because even though leaving home was really difficult, I had to do it. I just had to. There was no way that I was able to thrive in that environment. I don't think anybody can. Looking back, because it was the same person that I had to deal with all my life. Never was healthy, but I learned how to deal with it. But now, no, I'm just too old. Too old and too tired. Anyways, growing up, you have to make really difficult decisions for yourself. But no, even though they are difficult, you need to be entirely confident that it is the best thing for you, and you need to be able to save yourself at the end of the day. Because yeah, I definitely wouldn't have been able to do what I've done without help, but I did a fuck ton by myself. A lot. And as much as I will not underestimate the people who have helped me, most of that was me power. Most of it. So yeah, autonomy, choosing yourself, standing up for yourself. I think that's it. Yeah. That's all I gotta say. Bye.